The Bitcoin dominance is flashing a signal we haven't seen since this November Bitcoin dominance dump to the downside and this massive pump for altcoins to the upside. So that's why I've decided to dedicate today's update video towards Ethereum and altcoins, because I do think we are currently at a turning point in the market where altcoins are going to gain a lot of momentum. So that's exactly what we need to discuss within today's update video. We will take a deep dive in towards the most important Ethereum charts, the most important altcoin charts, and the latest news hitting the market here. So guys, first of all, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos, and from there we can dive in towards the content here. Since Bitcoin is currently flashing a signal we haven't seen since November 2024. A bearish cross on the MACD of the Bitcoin dominance is what we are currently seeing. We are seeing that the Bitcoin dominance is losing a lot of momentum, because basically the Bitcoin dominance just lost this 8-monthly uptrend here. We have clearly broken below it, so currently yes, something is happening in the market here and it's starting to look very good for altcoins. Of course, we've seen a lot of these small breaks to the downside and then still that grind higher. Of course, it's still a possibility, but now also the MACD is indicating to us that the Bitcoin dominance is showing bearish momentum here, and that is going to be super bullish for altcoins here, because not only the Bitcoin dominance is showing a very similar pattern like we have seen in November 2024, also the total market in general is showing a very similar pattern. Because what we saw in November was the stock market moving up first, then Bitcoin following second, and then altcoins next. Exactly that is also what's happening with this move higher for the crypto market. First, the stock market moved higher, making new all-time highs, then Bitcoin followed, now trading over 118,000 US dollars still. And I do think altcoins are about to follow next week. Then let's dive into towards Ethereum, because Ethereum has broken out of this accumulation range like discussed a lot on this channel. So just make sure to check out the latest videos also. And I don't think this breakout is over yet, because if we zoom out a little bit on the chart and we take a look into towards that Ethereum range, it's clearly not over yet. Because if we are going to compare a very similar range from Bitcoin out of 2024, we can clearly see that the momentum and the structure is so similar here, and that the breakout from Bitcoin, for example, was much more aggressive. There's definitely a chance that we are going to see a small consolidation zone like this for Ethereum and then the next move higher, but I would not be surprised if Ethereum is just going to shoot much higher from here directly next week. Let's see about that, but I do think Ethereum is still looking absolutely insane here. Also, Ethereum versus Bitcoin is of course bouncing off these 2019 and 2020 lows. We saw momentum being created to the top side, then a little move down again, and now we are basically going to create higher highs if Ethereum is going to pump a little more here, and that could be a major bull signal for Ethereum. And there's still so much potential here, because we haven't even seen that big Ethereum move higher. Still, the best is yet to come in my opinion. And then maybe even the most important trend from Ethereum and for altcoins basically is that we are starting to see insane institutional accumulation of Ethereum here. The spot Ethereum ETF just saw the biggest weekly inflow we've seen ever. So the institutional accumulation is basically at all-time highs for Ethereum here. We are seeing, for example, BlackRock accumulating a lot of Ethereum. It's absolutely insane, and this institutional accumulation is going to be that bullish catalyst driving Ethereum much higher this bull market, and I do think altcoins will be following in the end. Ethereum just entered the top 10 of highest inflow ETFs this week, so that's absolutely insane. Ethereum is now basically trading with the big boys here, so this is looking absolutely insane. And just like discussed, yes, we saw a record inflow, over 900 million in inflows last week, the best week since launch. So Ethereum is gaining a lot of momentum here. Then also the total strategic Ethereum reserve, so basically the reserves from all of these new companies who are holding Ethereum in their treasury. Value of those companies together is about to hit 4 billion US dollars here. So it's absolutely insane, and it's exactly playing out like we have been expecting on the channel for Ethereum. But yeah, I do think there's still a lot more upside in the tank for Ethereum here. I don't think it's over yet. I do think this rally is going to continue much higher, definitely towards that 4,000. A lot of opportunities are coming here. And then let's take a dive in towards altcoins, because the Bollinger Bandwidth for altcoins is compressing together, and we have seen something like that only 2 times before for altcoins, and always afterwards a massive rally to the top side followed. So currently we have been compressing those Bollinger Bandwidth bands for over 4 months here, and I do think a major altcoin move in the last stage of this cycle is going to happen once again, just like we've seen every single time for altcoins. I do think it's still coming, that major move is still going to happen. And here we have it on the monthly time frame, but we can also take a look on the weekly time frame, and also there, yes, those Bollinger Bands are squeezing together like we have only seen a few times before, and always afterwards we see massive moves higher. And those Bollinger Bands hitting such lows basically indicates that there is not much volatility within the market, and when volatility gets this low, normally big moves to the upside tend to happen shortly afterwards. So I'm getting very excited for altcoins here, to be fair. I do think a big move is going to happen fast, because we are in the last phase of this post-halving year, and during those post-halving years, so 2025, 2021 and 2017 for Ethereum for example, the last quarters of the year are always insanely bullish, and we can already see it playing out now here with Ethereum, but more is to come here, because just take a look into towards these insane returns of, for example, Q4 for 2017 and 2021. I do think the last phase of this year is going to be even more bullish for Ethereum and altcoins. So I do think this is going to be one of the best moments to accumulate altcoins within the market now. And also altcoins against that Bitcoin price action are currently flashing this major bullish divergence. So yeah, a lot of signals in the market are currently indicating that yes, that big move higher is getting super close here. So guys, I'm getting very excited, and that's why I wanted to dedicate this update video towards altcoins today. If you enjoyed today's update video, make sure to smash on that like button, and then I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.
Trading is never as easy, but who say you can't have fun? In every minute you lend, the more you will enjoy. As you grow up in this industry, you will find yourself, and surround yourself with people who will help you to grow up as trader. It's hard in the first place, but I am sure you will be successful. As a trader, always remember trend is your friend.